Kawhi Leonard has been out injured since the infamous incident with Zaza Pachulia in the Western Conference Finals last year. But the San Antonio Spurs have remained afloat through the great play of Patti Mills, Danny Green, and Lamarcus Aldridge, as well as the phenomenal coaching and deep roster helmed by Greg Popovich. They recently held on to beat Boston with a clutch 3 from Manu Ginobli to win the game, and truly look set to be a top team in the West, even if Leonard didn't make a return this season. But Leonard is set to make his debut for the Spurs this season this week, and could elevate them to true championship contention. This video will attempt to detail just how the Spurs have been playing this year, and just how much better they will get with the return of Kawhi, as well as containing my thoughts on Kawhi as a player and his history in the league. And let's start on that topic, as Kawhi has long been one of my favourite players in the league to watch. Leonard spent 2 years at San Diego State for his college career, after being just a 4-star recruit and not heavily recruited by major college programs. In his first college season, Leonard would establish himself as an incredibly versatile wing player and forward who could guard nearly anyone on the court. He would only average 12.7 points a game to go alongside his 9.9 rebounds, and did struggle to shoot the ball efficiently from three-point land. And in his second season, the shooting would improve minorly, but he would only average 15 points a game to go alongside his 12 rebounds, and many thought he would struggle to score at the NBA level and would be limited to just a defensive role player. But San Antonio's scouting department, Greg Popovich and R.C. Buford saw the potential in the quiet, calm, athletic machine that was Kawhi Leonard, and they backed their training staff, environment and culture to bring the best out of him. The first thing the Spurs did when they drafted him was throw Leonard into a process to rebuild his jump shot. They had Chip England work with Leonard for an extended period of time to remove the hitch in his stroke and focus on a fluid, consistent motion. To start with, they really only let Leonard shoot corner threes and when he was spotting up, but over his NBA career, he has added all the three-point shots year by year. First it was spot-up shooting from the wings, then it was pull-up shooting, and finally Leonard is now able to shoot off of the dribble in the pick and roll. And this career progression is what has served Leonard so well in the NBA. It is almost as if Leonard adds little parts to his game every offseason. Greg Popovich has reflected this and said that the coaching staff put together film packages for Kawhi to watch, to learn traits of NBA players. And you can see this in Leonard's game. His post-game is probably the most similar in the league to Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, as he uses pump fakes, fadeaways and up and unders to get incredibly effective shots off. And then, once he had learnt and mastered the art of scoring in the post, Pop had him watch film of Charles Barkley passing out of double and triple teams, so that he could learn to adapt to the defenses when they began to double him. This style of coaching is incredible from the Spurs, and coupled with Leonard's incredible work ethic, has resulted in him being the fantastic two-way player that is a legitimate MVP candidate when fully healthy. By allowing him to isolate his work and add one skill at a time, it ensures he masters it in the gym before he implements it in the games. This reduces the amount of errors he will have with it and makes him effective on the court. And it also ensures that at no point in his development was he asked to do anything that might make him lose his confidence. And this training process culminated in the 2014 NBA Finals, when the San Antonio Spurs were on a mission to avenge their loss to LeBron, Dwayne Wade and the Heat the previous year. In this series, Kawhi would put on the best defensive performance against LeBron in a playoff series that I think I have ever seen, and made life tough for one of the best players to ever pick up a basketball. And not only did he do this, but he had 29, 20, and 22 points in the last 3 games of the series to close it out and win the championship. Leonard would go on to win the Finals MVP, and become one of the very few people to win a Finals MVP without previously being an All-Star. But this would all change in the following 2 seasons, as Leonard would take his game to another level and become an All-Star for the first time in 2016, and he won his first Defensive Player of the Year title in 2015. But last year was the first year that Leonard launched himself into true MVP contention, as he averaged 25.5 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game to go alongside his 1.8 steals and 0.7 blocks. Leonard had carried the Spurs in this season and took them all the way to the Western Conference Finals after an incredible series against both the Grizzlies and the Rockets. And to start the much anticipated series against the Warriors, Leonard would scorch them in the first 2.5 quarters, to the tune of 26 points on just 13 shots, as the Warriors couldn't stop fouling him. And the Spurs were up 20 points at this point, when Zaza Pachulia would infamously slide under Leonard as he shot a jump shot, and Kawhi would roll his ankle and wouldn't return for the rest of the series. The Spurs' lead would be erased over the course of the next quarter, and they would lose the game by just 2 points and the series in 4 games. The history of the NBA could have been changed with one small injury, and fans and myself were incredibly sad that they wouldn't get to watch what possibly could have been an all-time great playoff series. And it isn't this injury that is keeping Leonard out this season. It is in fact an injury to Leonard's quad that comes from overwork and exhaustion to the muscle that has sidelined him to begin this year. But the Spurs and medical experts around the league say that this should be no issue to Kawhi's long-term health, and that when he comes back, he will likely be the same as before. And whilst he's been gone, I've been blown away by the Spurs. At the time of this video, they are 19-8, by winning games that they should win, and behind the incredible play of Lamarcus Aldridge and the fantastic coaching of Greg Popovich. The Spurs are just so disciplined. Their players know their exact roles and are focused on executing plays and their strategy, which has been predominantly getting the ball to Aldridge. And this strategy has been wildly successful and revived LMA as a player, a topic which I covered in another video and will include a link to in the description below. But now Leonard is on the verge of returning, and he will add another dimension to a team that is already performing so well. I think the biggest change that Leonard will make to this team is the shortening of a lot of players' minutes. Pop is currently playing 12 rotation players that get consistent minutes, and this number is high even for him, a coach renowned for resting his players and sharing the workload. Kawhi will allow Pop to play less of these guys and have an MVP quality player in the lineup for more of the time. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him stagger Aldridge and Kawhi's minutes so that one of them is out there at all times. Leonard's offense will do wonders for the Spurs, who have really struggled to find consistent scoring outside of Rudy Gay, Pau Gasol, and Lamarcus Aldridge. Leonard will be a fantastic option on the block or on the wing, and giving him 20 shots a night will result in the offense being considerably better. Leonard is one of the most efficient wing scorers in the league, and has one of the highest points per shot ratings in the entire NBA. But the most important element is that he can truly create his own shot. And whilst Rudy Gay can do this off of the bench already to support Aldridge, Kawhi simply does it at a level that is far superior to Rudy. And Leonard will also make a huge difference on the defensive end. He has been Defensive Player of the Year twice and First Team All-Defense for the last 3 seasons. He is clearly one of the most incredible wing defenders the league has ever seen, and uses his long arms, quick feet, and great knowledge of his opponents to hassle the best scorers in the world. Leonard is that rare combination of ability to lock a player down, whilst also knowing how to play the passing lanes, come off his man for the weak side help, and rotates harder than any other superstar I have seen in the league. The man simply doesn't take a possession off, and despite blossoming as an offensive superstar, he has ensured that he doesn't let his play slip on the defensive end just because he gets buckets. And I think when he does come back, it is really going to take the Spurs to another level, and there will be a true championship contender in the West alongside the Rockets and the Warriors. And whilst many think the Warriors are just going to cruise through the West to the finals again, I think that both of these teams could give them more of a challenge than many think. The lineup of Tony Parker, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, Rudy Gay, and Lamarcus Aldridge actually matches up with Golden State's famous death lineup very well. They have the length to switch all the wing positions, and Aldridge will have to attempt to punish Draymond on the other end. Plus, Leonard is probably the best player in the entire league to have guarding Kevin Durant, and there is a real possibility that the Spurs can get hot offensively, Pop outcoaches Kerr, and they give the Warriors a real run for their money. But there is a lot of water to go under the bridge before we even get to that stage, and I'm just excited to see Kawhi's return and if he can maintain the MVP level of play from last year. Because if he can, the Spurs are going to be very, very good. Something that has become a sure thing in the NBA over the last 20 years. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more NBA videos in the future. And let me know in the comments of what you think of Kawhi Leonard, Lamarcus Aldridge, Greg Popovich, and the San Antonio Spurs in the comment section below.